The stage of mystery and elegance, the air was thick with anticipation as the lights dimmed, and the murmurs of the fashion elite filled the grand hall. Every camera pointed toward the minimalist runway that promised to reveal not only the next season's collection, but also something more. Something unspoken, yet deeply awaited. When Kim Taehyung stepped into that dim light, the entire energy of the room shifted. The man often hailed as the king of fashion had once again proven that he wasn't just a celebrity wearing designer clothes. He became the story, the symbol, and the emotion behind every fabric he touched. Dressed in muted tones of ash gray and espresso brown, layered with a perfectly cut puffer jacket and a soft corduroy hoodie, Taehyung's presence spoke a language that transcended words. But this time, the meaning behind his look wasn't about aesthetics alone. Hidden beneath the folds of his carefully chosen outfit was a silent statement, a reflection of sensitivity, emotion, and social awareness. It wasn't just another photo shoot, another campaign, or another red carpet moment. For those who looked deeper, there was a reason his gaze seemed softer, his posture more grounded, his aura more introspective, because behind that breathtaking fashion appearance, Taehyung was delivering a message that many didn't immediately see, a message that could touch hearts more powerfully than any performance ever could. Part 2. Fashion as a mirror of emotion. Taehyung has long been celebrated for his artistry, his ability to transform feelings into visuals, sound, and motion. Whether on stage or in front of a camera, he doesn't simply perform, he expresses. And during this particular fashion event, he turned clothing into poetry. Each piece he wore told a story. The slightly oversized hoodie, the down jacket gently sliding off his shoulder, the beanie covering his hair. It was a calculated blend of comfort and distance. It evoked warmth, protection, and introspection all at once. The untrained eye. It might have seemed like a simple winter concept. But to those who followed Taehyung closely, the imagery resonated with deeper undertones about solitude, self-protection, and the quiet resilience one needs in a world obsessed with perfection. Fashion insiders later revealed that Taehyung personally discussed the concept with the creative director, suggesting that the outfit should feel like a soft wall, not to hide, but to breathe. It was his subtle way of portraying how people sometimes use fashion not to attract attention, but to find safety, to communicate what words cannot. That sensitivity, that quiet vulnerability, is what separated Taehyung from every other star in the room. Part 3. The whisper behind the walk. When the spotlight hit him, there was no dramatic turn, no forced pose. He simply leaned against the wooden frame of the set, letting the light fall gently across his features. His eyes, calm but distant, looked out as if searching for something beyond the lens. It wasn't a look of performance. It was reflection. Every shutter click captured that fragile intersection between strength and fragility, between exposure and protection. And it was precisely that duality that turned the photo series into a phenomenon across social media within hours of its release. But what many fans didn't know immediately was that the theme of this fashion event revolved around emotional warmth in times of social coldness. The creative team wanted to remind the world that fashion could be a vessel of empathy, not just extravagance. Taehyung, being deeply attuned to emotion and artistry, understood that mission better than anyone else. Rather than choosing a flamboyant, high-shine outfit, he went for something quieter, something that felt human. He didn't just model the clothes. He became the embodiment of what the campaign stood for, a symbol of sensitivity wrapped in elegance. Part 4. Between silence and strength. It's not the first time Taehyung has merged emotion with fashion. Throughout his career, he has used subtle styling cues to tell stories. The delicate use of neutral colors, the contrast between soft fabrics and strong silhouettes, the balance of vulnerability and confidence. But this particular event marked a turning point. It wasn't about selling a collection. It was about telling a truth. The truth that even icons, even those called kings, carry moments of silence, introspection, and sensitivity that deserve to be seen, not hidden. In one interview snippet later released, Taehyung was asked about his choice of outfit. His response was simple but profound. I didn't want to look perfect. I wanted to look real. Sometimes, being real is the most beautiful form of art. Those words spread across fan communities and media outlets like wildfire. Because in an industry that often demands perfection, Here was a global superstar daring to say that imperfection and emotion are worth celebrating too. Part 5. The emotional resonance. What followed next was an outpouring of admiration and reflection. Fans around the world shared their interpretations of Taehyung's look. Some described it as a visual hug, while others said it reminded them of how it feels to be understood without speaking. Fashion critics, too, praised his understated power. One European editor wrote, "Taehyung doesn't wear fashion, he listens to it. He lets fabric and form speak on behalf of emotion." In an age dominated by spectacle and digital overstimulation, his quiet presence felt almost revolutionary. He didn't need bright lights or extravagant sets. He only needed sincerity, and perhaps that's why his appearance hit so deeply. Because sensitivity, when embodied with grace, becomes strength. Part 6. The quiet revolution. In a world where celebrities often compete for attention with glittering outfits and viral moments, Taehyung's quiet rebellion stood out like a whisper in a crowded room. He didn't need to shout to be heard. His silence spoke volumes. When the official photos were released, they didn't explode with color or noise. Instead, they drew you in gently, the way a soft song does, not to overwhelm you, but to make you feel. Viewers described the images as peaceful yet haunting, simple yet emotionally magnetic. Each frame carried the same weight as a handwritten letter, intimate, honest, and filled with meaning that only the heart could fully decode. Taehyung had, once again, turned fashion into philosophy. This wasn't just a campaign. It was a form of quiet activism, a reminder that even in industries built on image and perfection, sensitivity is not a weakness but a form of courage. And that was exactly his hidden mission. Part 7. A hidden mission revealed behind the scenes. The concept of this fashion event had a deeper purpose. It was dedicated to mental and emotional well-being, a theme rarely touched upon in luxury fashion. The creative team wanted to explore how clothing can become a form of self-expression and emotional protection. Taehyung, who has often been open about his introspective nature and the importance of emotional honesty, immediately resonated with this vision. He didn't just show up as a model. He collaborated in shaping the narrative. According to one insider, Taehyung personally suggested subtle gestures during the shoot: a lean against a cold wall, a pensive gaze out the window, the soft way his hands tucked into his sleeves, all to communicate the delicate feeling of vulnerability in a safe space. He didn't want to look strong, the creative director shared. He wanted to look real. And that changed everything. It was this authenticity that transformed the photos from mere visuals into emotional portraits. Part 8. Fans' emotional connection. As the images spread online, fans across the globe began sharing personal stories in the comment sections. Some wrote about how Taehyung's expressions reminded them of their own quiet struggles. Others said his calm demeanor helped them feel comforted in moments of anxiety or loneliness. That a particularly viral post read, "It's as if he's saying, it's okay to rest. It's okay to feel." And I think we all needed to hear that. In that moment, the campaign became more than fashion. It became therapy. The comments sections under his photos turned into small digital sanctuaries where people shared their thoughts, feelings, and gratitude. Taehyung's presence, as always, created a ripple effect of sincerity. It wasn't about him being perfect. It was about him being human. Part 9. The artistic side of vulnerability. Many artists shy away from showing vulnerability, fearing it might be misunderstood. But Taehyung has always embraced it as part of his artistry. From his music to his photography, he often explores themes of solitude, nostalgia, and emotional reflection. He once said in an interview, "When I express sadness, I'm not trying to make people sad.